Oh, hello everyone. It's 26Bond from the UK, Rob. Hope everyone's alright. It's Saturday afternoon, and I thought I would give you a bit of a recent finds video on some of the vinyl I've picked up recently. Not really concentrating on one band or a couple of bands, but generally what I'm interested in, such as metal and rock. So I thought I'd show a couple of Maiden albums. I know people who know me know I'm a huge fan of Maiden, and this is a bit of a humdinger to start from. Almost impossible to find really today, particularly in this condition. I'm so pleased to finally have got a copy of this. And now I paid about £40 for this album, which is a lot of money, but being Maiden's my favourite band, they're certainly worth it. This is Rock in Rio. This is the triple vinyl picture disc limited edition copy of their Rock in Rio performance from 2001 in Brazil. A great record. This is the... I'll try and be careful with this one showing you, but it's just a beautiful package. Obviously Maiden is very known for their lavish packaging, but also sadly the only thing they do release on vinyl now tends to be picture discs, and obviously there is a sound limitation with picture discs compared to regular black vinyl, but there you go, that's an argument for another day. So it opens out like that, and then it opens out even further. This is a triple vinyl set. So if I stand up, I might have to stand up and show you guys this. You've got lyrics and a picture of Eddie, and obviously that folds in like that. So I'll show you the vinyl, because it's well worth doing. They come in standard polyline sleeves. So that's side one, and then side two. Sounds great, this record. I know people, like I've just done, criticise sometimes the sonic capabilities of this sort of vinyl, but actually this one sounds pretty good. As did, in my opinion, the Final Frontier. This is side 3 and 4. So there's 3 and 4. This is really hard to get hold of, this one. I mean, if you look on PopPsych and Discogs and eBay and you watch a few listings for this, I mean, this easily can go for £100, which is about $140. It's very hard to come by, as all fairly recent Maiden vinyl is. And last but not least, side 5 is there. Then a really cool graphic with a Brazilian flag. Side 6 there. So, you know, it's not something which gets played a lot, purely for the fact that it takes a bit of effort trying to unload the records. But Maiden are one of those bands where I will spend a little bit more money than most on getting the records into my collection. As I say, they're my favourite band, and I'm so pleased to finally have got a copy of that into my collection. So there you go. Put that one down carefully. Also, the same guy from the same store that I got that one for also had this going for very inexpensive money. This is Edward the Great, the Greatest Hits from 2002. Once again, fantastic condition. I don't believe these records were ever played, to be honest with you. This is a gatefold again. Nice graphics in there, nice pick of the band with some liner notes from Steve Harris. And once again, this time you've got the inner sleeves with lyrics on, like so. But once again also you've got the picture disc vinyl. Nice outtake from the Peace of Mind photo session there. That picture there was on the back of the Flight of Icarus single, if I do believe rightly. So there's that one, that's record number 1. This isn't a triple vinyl, this is a standard sort of double vinyl set. Put this one back in here, but you know, if you're into Maiden, this is probably one of the vinyls you can live without. It's just a greatest hits set. If you're a bit of a Maiden completist like I am, you know, you have got to get it really. There you go. Features a couple of songs from the Blaze era. Nice sort of coat of arms graphic, and a recent to this release picture of the band. from the Brave New World sort of era, of which this was released just after. So a fantastic addition again to my Maiden collection. Really, really pleased to finally get a copy of this. And once again, it's a really hard Maiden record to come by. So there you go. It's Edward the Great, the Greatest Hits, EMI Records, Iron Maiden. Okay, moving to Canada. One of my favourite bands. We're getting a lot of love in the VC due to their fantastic Clockwork Angels release, which I'm just waiting for my vinyl edition to come. I can't wait. I just watched Dwayne's video on it and it had me salivating. This is a brilliant deluxe copy. It's an English copy of Fly By Night on Mercury Records, which I picked up a couple of days ago. And it's in brilliant condition. I did have this already, but mine was a bit mullered. It's got the insert with the lyrics and the pictures. Great record. Rivendell's one of my favourite Rush tracks. It's just a beautiful song. And I'll show you the vinyl. Nice poly-lined inner bag. And it's got the blue Mercury logo, and this one is in such good condition. There you go. It's a slight bit of dust, and it just needs a little clean, but there's no surface marks on that one at all. I mean, I've been a fan of Rush since I was 12. In 1989 I got into Rush, and my first thing I ever bought was a single from the local record store closer to the heart, and it had Bastille Day. It was a 3-track single. It was Closer to the Heart, Bastille Day was on the B-side, and there was another track, and I can't think what it was. It might have just been a 2-tracker. And I remember I was hearing this band for the first time, and I put it on and Geddy started singing, and I thought, oh, I must have it on 45, because he was so high pitched. It was like, it must be going too fast, this record. But you know, he certainly grew on me, and I'm just a huge fan of these guys. I think they're fantastic, and this is the first record with Neil Peart on drums, and he's just a monster drummer. There you go. Fly By Night. If you're not into Rush at all, probably isn't the best place to start. I'd start with something like Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, or 2112, but this is certainly amongst their better works, in my opinion. So that's Rush. Then we've got a bit of Alice Cooper. This is Love It to Death. This is stereo pressing K46177. This is a gatefold album of the Alice Cooper band. There you go. It's got quite a cool inner gatefold, and this is an original pressing with the green Warner Brothers record label. This is a UK pressing. One of my favourite songs is Black Juju on this, and also Halo of Flies. Just fantastic Alice Cooper tracks. I think somebody who thinks of Alice Cooper and their only reference point is stuff like Poison and, you know, the Trash album, is in for a bit of a shock if they ever got into early Cooper. He was very eerie, he was very Zappa influenced, and it's just crazy stuff to listen to. But also the songwriting was just fantastic back in those days with him. His last few albums, he's begun to go back to his roots. But these records, along with this one, and also Killer, in my opinion, are where it's at with early Cooper. $1 Billion Babies is good as well. School's Out was patchy for me. But this one I think is my favourite, along with Killer. Amazing record. Sabbath, this is not something you see often. This is the 1990 UK edition of this record here, Tear, in mint condition. Really tricky album by Sabbath to get on vinyl. Featuring Tony Martin on vocals, Neil Murray on bass, Tony Iommi on guitars, and obviously Cozy Powell on drums, the late great Cozy Powell. This comes with the inner lyric sheet, and the record's in great condition. Nice labels on this one. This has barely been played. This really is a mint copy, in my opinion. There you go. And it's a good record. It's obviously Sabbath had a bit of they've had strange periods, Sabbath, where really, apart from Tony, there wasn't anyone else from the original lineup in the band. So you know, they have been a bit of a one-man project for a long period of time. But obviously, they had two fantastic three: Gillan, Ozzy Osbourne, and Dio on vocals, which really were the Sabbath vocalists. Particularly Dio and Osbourne, but Tony Martin is an underrated singer, and this, along with the Headless Cross, I should say, is certainly worth checking out if you're into British metal. And you do far worse than picking up a copy of this album by Sabbath, one of their underrated gems in the collection. Another bit of Cooper. This is something I just picked up recently. I had it, but I didn't have the insert. This is Raise Your Fist and Yell from 1987, a UK copy, which strangely has the lyrics on the back, which was an unusual thing that he did with two of his mid-80s albums. This one's in pretty good condition, but it comes with the insert, which is why I bought it, because I didn't have that. Like a credit sheet on the back, then an amazing design which they used for the t-shirt design on the tour there. This was Cooper really coming back. His album before this, Constrictor, featured a track called He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, from one of the Friday the 13th films, I think number 5, which was his real comeback record. Then there was this one, then it went on to sort of the Poison era and Trash is the World tour, and then he became very, very popular again. But this was him on his rebirth, really. So this is quite 80s metal, featuring Kane Roberts on guitar. Looked a bit, looked a bit like Rambo. Excuse me. Kip Winger, who went on to form the Winger Band, and I think Ken Mary plays drums on this album as well. So it's a good record. It's very 80s. There's a couple of very eerie tracks on there, particularly Gale. So if you like scary Cooper songs, check that one out. But I'm very, very pleased to get a copy of this finally with the insert, because as you know, a bit of a completist, need to have my records with all the posters and all the inserts and everything like that. Now this I haven't listened to yet, but I got my first Accept album, Restless and Wild, last week, and managed to pick up this one as well, Balls to the Wall. I think this was the album after Restless and Wild. So I've not heard this one yet, but AD and LJ, they've been telling me good things about the band, and I enjoyed Restless and Wild, so I think I'm going to enjoy checking this one out as well. What do you guys think on Balls to the Wall? Is it as good as Restless and Wild? Let me know. Metallica. This is a beautiful condition copy on Music for Nations. This is a UK pressing of their second record, Ride the Lightning. Absolutely A1 perfect condition. You're not going to find anything better. Lovely Music for Nations label. Absolutely fantastic. And the great thing with this one is, talking about inserts and paraphernalia for a record, I was delighted when it arrived because it's come with the merchandise insert forms. You could send off for t-shirts and long sleeves and badges and patches and all sorts of stuff like that. So very cool. And of course it comes with the inner bag, which is, I don't think the record's ever been in here. There's a slight indentation there, but it's just perfect condition. One of their better records. It's one of their classic 4 albums, which is basically their first 4. So you've got Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, this one, Master of Puppets, which has long been regarded as their definitive work, and then their successor to that was And Justice for All. If you're starting with Metallica, I recommend this one or Master of Puppets. You can't go wrong. Fantastic tracks on here: Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Creeping Death, Fade to Black. I mean, there's 4 absolute Metallica classics on this one, and if you can find it in as good condition as I managed to get this one, well, you've just won the lottery. Brilliant stuff. Bit of Motorhead now for you. This is a red vinyl edition of their debut album, Motorhead. Nice inner sleeve. Some nice handwritten liner notes by the three of them, and I'll show you the vinyl. Anyone listening to this who are more familiar with sort of Motorhead, as they're more well known in terms of No Sleep Till Hammersmith sort of sound, this is a bit different. There's a couple of cover songs on here, and it's a little bit more rocky rolly than full-on punky metal, but it's well worth a listen. It's the sound of a band trying to find their style in some way, but you know, it's worth checking out. But if you're expecting sort of like Bomber, you might think it's probably not the same band. This is real Motorhead in their formative years. So if you're a fan of them and you haven't got this album, it's well worth checking out to see how they metamorphosised into the latter band. And that's it there. Okay, just a couple more records to show you. This is a great one. This is Heaven and Hell. This is the last album that Dio made in 2009, and this is essentially Black Sabbath with Dio on vocals. That's the back. This is a lovely, lovely package. It comes with a poster and everything. It might not show up so well on camera because it's quite dark. You've got the lyrics there, and it's heavyweight vinyl. Black bag sleeves. I'll show you. Nice labels. Really heavy. Dio sounds great on this album, as do the whole band. Everyone's on top form. The riffs on this are absolutely immense. In fact, Bible Black, one of the tracks here, I think it was the single released from it, is one of my favourite metal songs of all time, and it's that good. And it had a lovely poster inside there. There he is. Oh, there's Ronnie. God bless his soul. So it's a really, really nice package, this one. You can still get it, and it's getting harder to find this one now. I don't believe they've made any newer pressings of it. You can certainly get the live album that they did at Radio City, but this is the studio album. It's well worth getting hold of on Roadrunner Records. Try and find a copy of that if you like your metal raw but also traditional. Actually, it's not a four-sided record. I just remembered this. It's actually a three-sided with an etching on the back. Hopefully you can see that. So it's got like a devil, and there you go. Just awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I wish more bands would do those sort of graphics on the vinyl. So I think it can look stunning. It can look stunning. So yeah, definitely check out Heaven and Hell. I'd really like to get myself a copy of Hell at Hammersmith, which was a reissue of an old gig with Dio from '81, I think, on vinyl. That's be a fantastic. I know AD's got it. So if anyone's got that for sale, I know it goes for ridiculous money, like £67 I've seen it for sale for. I mean, I don't want to pay that, but if anyone's looking to offload, bear me in mind. Okay, two more. This is a limited edition gatefold Scorpions 12-inch from 1990. This is Don't Believe Her, with Kicks After Six and Crazy World. This is from the... which album was this from? Oh, Crazy World, I think this one was from 1990. Limited edition tour pack. Only 5,000 of these pressed. My one is number 4689. Nice gatefold sleeve, promoting the tour. Nice condition vinyl as well, barely been played on the Vertigo label. So I was pleased to pick that one up for a very low amount of money. And last but not least, I like a bit of Mountain in my life. A lot of you guys have been showing some Mountain, so this is one of their greatest hits albums from '73. This is a Canadian copy, featuring some of their better songs. Mississippi Queen, theme from Imaginary Western, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. There you go. Like it. I'm beginning to sort of expand my musical horizons a bit more now. I was always more of a heavy-duty metal fan, but I'm beginning to dabble in other things now, more progressive rock, stuff like Marillion, which I know Dwayne's a huge fan of, stuff like Genesis, which is obviously AD and LJ, and you guys, you're big fans of that as well. So that's one of the great things about the vinyl community. It's opening your ears and your eyes to different sorts of music. and sometimes you can get a little bit blinkered with your own style of things, and you just listen to rock and metal. But that was me maybe about 2 years ago. Ever since I've been posting videos towards the VC and things, it's opened my eyes a lot to the different stuff that's out there, and it's a very exciting time. Because you're learning all the time about different bands, different musicians, different albums, and advice from people on where to start with various bands, and it's great. It really is great. But yeah, I look forward to seeing some more videos. Look forward to chatting with some of you guys on Facebook soon as well, which is a really good thing for the VC. I think the Facebook page, which is great. It's great to see the stuff you're posting. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a real learning curve. So, hope everyone's alright, have a fantastic weekend, and hopefully next video I'll have my Rush album, so I'll be able to show you that and tell you how good I think it is. So, cheers guys, have a great weekend.